Hi, good afternoon. My name is Rohini Mam. Today, we are going to learn about crop production and management. Okay, so before that, I wish everyone a very good afternoon. Okay, first of all, and I hope everyone is safe at home. Okay, all right. So, now tell me why this crop production and management is included in your syllabus. Have you ever thought about it? Right? Okay. It's this question has to be answered, right? Okay. See, in early days or in ancient time, people were completely dependent on nature to have food, right? They were never used to cultivate any food. They just need to have food in with a in form of raw material, that is fruits and vegetable, even animals, that is meat, and so on, right? With the advent of civilization, people start to cultivate food, right? They start to cultivate the crops, and this led to the discovery of food. Okay, now can anyone tell me what is the world's population right now? Yes, it is about 7.8 billion. And what is India's population? India's population is around 1.5 billion something, right? So all these people require some food, right? So tell me, what is the total percentage of land under cultivation? Anyone? Yes, it's about only 11 to 12 percentage. So just imagine 7.8 billion people and only 11 to 12 percentage of land under cultivation. So how can we compensate, right? So all these things has to be learned in our school days itself. So that is the reason such topic is included in our syllabus so that we understand the importance of farming. Okay, so let's go learn more. So today we are going to cover few topics. The first topic is define crops. Okay, the second one is types of crops. What are the varieties of the crops that are planted? Then, what is the need of those crops? What is the purpose? Then, what is defined agriculture? There's a definition, exact definition that has to be written in your exam. What is agriculture? Then, you need to describe the process of preparation of soil. Then the next topic will be identify and describe the different tools that are used for agriculture. Then we need to know the process of selection of seeds and the methods used for sowing that seeds. And also we've been learning the uses and the differences of manures and fertilizers. Okay, so all these topics will be clear today. Okay, so what is the introduction about food production and management? Yes, as I already told you that in the nomadic period or the nomadic dwellers, they used to have food that are directly available from nature. See, you can see here, they were nothing used to cultivate or they never used to do farming. They just take the fruits and vegetables naturally from and they used to cook and have food, right? They even hunt animals and cook them and eat them, right? But today, with the advent of civilization, as I told, today the thing has changed. The life has changed. Today, we with our family sit together and have varieties of food, right? So, we need to know how those food or how those food is prepared with the help of which type of crops and how those crops are cultivated. So, all these things we need to know, right? So, what are the varieties of foods that you have? Yes, you will be having lots of different types of fruits like apples, pineapples, grapes, so on. Different types of meat, fish, right? Then you have, right, I feel being, right now it's afternoon time, you will be feeling very hungry, right? Because of hearing so many different kinds of food, right? Okay, so then, and then different types of varieties of cereals like dal, rajma, wow, right? But there's lots of difference based on this crops, right? Some fruits grow on on the tree, while some grow from the soil. You can see like potatoes, carrots, maize, and so on, cauliflower, right? So all these are grown directly from the soil, but some grows as a fruit from the trees. So all these things, what is that? How it is possible? All will be done. Okay, fine. Now tell me, why do we all need food, right? And from where do we get them? Can anyone say, why do we need food? Exactly, we need food because we require energy. We require energy to do work, and also we require food to grow, right? We want to grow more, right, children? Yes, we need to grow tall and strong. For that, food is required. And from where do we get them? We get them from plants and animals, right? So we all need food because it provides us with nutrition that helps us to work and grow. Okay, so what are the source of food? From where do we get? Yes, we get it from plants and animals. From plants, we'll be getting different kinds of vegetables, fruits, right? Tea, spices, sugar, coffee, and so on. And from animals, we'll be getting meat, right? Eggs, and also we'll be getting milk and so on. All these kinds of food that you have is comes not from plants and animals. Okay. Now, before we start learning this management and production of crops, we must be clear about some basic terms. Okay. The first basic term is, what is crop? It's very important question exam point of view. Define crops. Crops are the plants of same kind grown on a large scale. Okay. Crops are the plants of same kind grown on large scale, especially vegetables, fruits, cereals. Okay. And they are harvested. For what purpose? For what purpose farmers farm these crops? Yes, for profit. They, hello? Okay. So they are harvested. Okay, I hope everything is fine. Right. So crops are the plants of the same kind grown on its large scale, especially cereals, fruits, vegetables, which are to be harvested for profit. Right. So this definition is very much important. So what are the different types of crops? Crops are of two types. One is kharif crops and the second one is rabi crops. Kharif crops are those crops which are grown in rainy season. Okay, it is grown from month of June to September because that is the month of rainy time in India, right? And those crops are called as Kharif crops. Now, can you tell me, right, why these crops are sown in rainy season? Yes, because they require more water. And what type of examples you can give? Right, you can give paddy, maize, and soya bean. Okay. Now, what about next? Next is rabi crops. Rabi crops are those which are sown in winter season, and it is grown from October to March, and it are called as rabi crop. Now, tell me why these crops are sown in winter season. It is sown in winter season because it require less water. And what are the examples? Wheat, gram, and pea. Okay. So these are the different types of crops. One is kharif crops and another is rabi crop. Okay. So kharif crops are sown in rainy season and rabi crops are sown in winter season. Okay. So you have learned the definition of crops. You have learned the types of crops. Okay. Now, what is the need of crops? Crops are needed because they are the major source of food, right? We prepare food with the help of these crops. And what are the raw materials? They are legumes, peas, fruits, and vegetables. Okay, so what is legumes? Legumes are nothing but like dal, rajma, moong dal, different types. So all these are nothing but crops. Okay, you take that crops and you cook the food. So I hope the one basic term is clear. What is crop? The definition of the crop. Second, the different types of crop. Third is the need of crop. Okay. Now, the second term is agriculture. So agriculture is the practice of growing crops, okay, including the cultivation of soil and rearing of animals. See, agriculture doesn't mean just grow the crops. It also means you need to cultivate the soil and also rearing of animals. What's rearing? Rearing is nothing but you need to take care, nurture the animals. Okay, you need to take care of them. So agriculture is practice of growing crops, cultivation of soil and rearing of animals. And it used for what? It used to provide food and other products. What are the products that you get other than food from plants? Yes, you get paper, right? You get paper from the plants, right? You cultivate the paper. Then from animals, you get what? Wool. You make leathers, wool, sweaters, right? So all these things that comes other product other than food, everything comes from plants and animals. So this is the definition of agriculture. Agriculture is a practice of growing crops, including the cultivation of soil and rearing or nurturing of animals to provide food and other products like wool. Okay. Now, anyone likes doing farming or gardening? Anyone? Yes, I love gardening. But unfortunately, I was not knowing anything about gardening or farming. I was thinking like I need to just take the seeds or dig it in the mud and the seed starts grow and it will be the plant will grow, right? But I was wrong. My dad loves gardening. He loves farming. Okay, I have seen him early. He gets up early in the morning and starts to water the plants. Okay, so I asked him, Dad, how this farming or gardening is done? He said, before you dig some seeds in the soil, first you need to check whether the soil is good or not. So I was really surprised. Before knowing the seeds, we must first check the soil. So the soil should be very much moist and it should be full of nutrients. So that is the first step. Agricultural practice, the first thing is preparation of soil. The soil should be good. Second thing, okay, what is the next thing then that I have asked him? He said, second thing is you need to take some seeds, right? The seeds should be good in health. They will be good and bad. So it should be good in health. Take the good seeds and sow them. Dig them in the correct depth. That is sowing. So that is the second step, preparation of soil and sowing. Third is adding manures and fertilizers. See, you required food to grow, right? Similarly, you need your seed to grow, and for that, you need to add what? Manures and fertilizer as food for them to grow. Okay, then what is the next thing? Daily, you need to water the plants. Yes, that's the first thing. That comes under irrigation. It's one and the same. Let's see in detail later. Okay, then what is the next thing then? Next thing is you need to protect your plant. Okay, you need to protect your plant. Okay, I'm protecting my plant from what? You need to protect your plants from weeds. Weeds are nothing but unwanted plants. Okay, they grow or they take all the nutrients, air, nitrogen, whatever your plants require, everything will be taken up by the weeds and the weed starts growing. So you should clear all the weeds from your cultivated plant. Sixth step is harvesting. You need to harvest. What is harvesting exactly is one day your plants will grow and be a tree, right? And you get fruits, right? So everything, all the fruits will not be used. You do what? You cut them, you take them and you store them. Okay. So that stored fruit will be using for the next purpose. That is next time you can even use that seeds for cultivation again. So that is harvesting. And the seventh is storage. Store your fruits. Okay. So these are the 7 steps that you need to know all the agriculture practices. So what's the first thing? Preparation of soil. Second is sowing. Third is adding manure and fertilizer. Fourth is irrigation. Fifth is protecting from weeds. Sixth one is harvesting. And seventh is storage. Okay, so all the 7 steps are clear. Okay, now first thing is preparation of soil. So as I told, we need to make our soil rich in moist and nutrients, right? So how is it possible? So there's one process that is called as ploughing or tilling. The soil of the field is loosened and overturned. Okay, you can see in this image, it makes this is making our soil overturn or loosening our soil. Okay, I think you have seen in many images or even in TV, you have seen some plow is tied back in the cow, and the farmer makes the cow move, and you can see the plow digs in the soil, right? That is nothing but plowing or tilling. Okay, so that's how the preparation of soil takes place. The soil of the field is loosened and overturned, and this process is called as plowing or tilling. Okay, now what is the purpose? The purpose is it causes the ventilation of the soil. Ventilation, in a sense, air passage, that you know, right? Even the soil requires air passage so that the roots, okay, of that plant will be getting enough of air. Okay, so it causes ventilation of soil and makes it suitable for the growth of small organisms living in it, right? So we require some organisms in the soil. Why the organisms are required? Yes, because it helps in decomposing that, right? Decomposing your any animal waste or plant waste are there, which are buried deep under the soil. So all these small organisms are required. Okay, that is a step one, preparation of soil. And the step one, it is what is your first question? What is or plowing or tilling? Okay, so the soil of the field is loosened and it is overturned. Okay, the process is called as plowing or tilling, and it causes for ventilation of soil. It helps for the air passage and is suitable for the growth of small organisms. Okay, so what are the advantages? Now, why this plowing is done? It helps in the penetration of roots deeply. The roots has to be penetrated deep inside the soil, right? Okay. Then only that thing, the plant or the tree will be strong enough, right? If it is this roots are in the upper layer of the soil, then it can easily be removed. But we want our soil, we want our roots to be deep inside the soil. So we need to plow that soil. Okay. Then air can easily pass through the soil. Air ventilation is required. So that is one of the reasons. And helps in removing unwanted plants and weeds. So before you start sowing your seeds, you need to remove the unwanted plants and weeds. As I said, the weeds will take all the nutrients from the soil and the weed starts growing. So to avoid that, we need to remove all the unwanted plants. Okay, and it's helpful in mixing and uprooting the soil. What is uprooting? Yes, it helps to overcome the torn soil. Torn soil, in a sense, the bad soil. Okay, it helps to remove that bad soil and only good soil will be there. And also destroying the harmful organisms. Okay, so I hope it's clear what are the different advantages of plowing. And what is plowing? Plowing is nothing but, yes, digging of the soil. That's okay. Then what are the advantages? Air penetration, okay, that is ventilation, and the penetration of roots deep inside, helps in removing the unwanted plants and weeds, and it is helpful in mixing and uprooting of soil and destroying the harmful organisms. Harmful organisms are also present in the soil. Let's see, that is why the reason we can see when we do small scale of farming, you can see our leaves may get decayed easily, right? So that is because of the harmful organisms. So we should be very much clear that all the harmful organisms are removed from the soil so that we can grow the crops under large scale. Okay, so we have done what and why. Now, how it is done? That is the another question, right? How you can prepare your soil. It helps in breaking the big lumps of the soil. Okay, all the big lumps of the soil will be there. It will be broken down. And how? It will be done by leveler. You can see leveler here. It breaks down the big lumps of the soil and helps in the protection from soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Soil erosion is nothing but the displacement of upper layer of the soil. Okay, that you can see, upper layer of the soil, what you can see, right? That layer is displaced. Why it is displaced? Because of what? Because of rain, air, right? You can see. So that is nothing but the soil erosion. So if you do the leveling, then leveling is done, then what will happen? It protects from the soil erosion and also promotes irrigation. Irrigation, that is the moist content will be present in the soil. Okay, so that is how the leveling is done, or the how is the ploughing is done. Okay, then you have manuring. It is a process of mixing the soil with the manure and helps increase the fertility. Of course, manures are nothing but you're giving the food. As I said, you're giving the food for your seed to grow, right? So that has to be mixed with whom? It has to be mixed with the soil. So if you do the leveling, the manures will get mixed with your soil. Okay, and it provides a fertility. Now, what are the implements used in the preparation of soil? Yes, the first one is plow. This is what you have seen in the back of the cow, right? Yes, this is tied in the back of the cow or the ox. Ox will move, the farmers ask the ox to move, and this plow dig inside that of your uh, soil, right? Soil gets digging in the, it makes furrows in the soil, right? Makes some furrows in the soil. So it is a large farming tool. You can see it's a large farming tool with one or more blades, okay, in the wooden frame, and which used to turn over or cut the furrows in the soil. It is made up of either wood or wood and iron only. So these are the material that which it is made up of, either wood and iron, or iron only. Okay. So it is having a long shaft, and in this frame it will be having 2 to 3 blades. So as the ox move, this plow starts to dig or make the furrows in the soil. That is the first way of, or the first implement in the ancient times it was used, right? Earlier days. Next is hoe. Hoe is used to remove the weeds and loosening the soil. Okay, I've seen my dad using this because he want to remove any unwanted weeds. He used this thing. Okay, it helps to dig him easily, and it removes the weeds. Okay, and this is what hoe it is, and it looks like this. I think everyone has seen it, right? Okay. Then the next is cultivator. Yes. Now the ploughing has changed to cultivator. Okay, it's one and the same. What is the difference? When the plough is connected to the tractor, you can see that when the plough is connected to the tractor, we call it as cultivator. What helps? Yes, it helps in labor and time. Right? If you're asking the ox to move, you require labor, right? Labor and plus the time. Time required for that ploughing is more, very much more than that of the tractor. Tractor can do within 2 to 3 hours, but the ox may take 1 week, right? So it helps in time saving also. Okay, so this is the third type, and the fourth type is seed drill. Seed drill is a combination of 2 steps. One is preparation of soil, and the second thing is sowing. That is, if you see here, right? This is the seed drill machine. In the seed drill, you are having an iron tube, okay? And on the iron tube, there's a funnel placed. Okay, this iron in this funnel, you whenever you plow the soil, you can add the seeds inside this funnel. The seeds may pass through this iron tube and fall inside the soil. Okay, and it falls in the correct depth. Okay, it falls in the correct depth. So the two things can be done. Okay, and at the end, this iron tube, at the last end of this iron tube, it is a sharp edge. Okay, so that helps to for digging the soil also, of making the furrows in the soil also, and also and sowing the seeds. So the best thing is what? It saves time. Okay, and the seeds are sown at the right depth. Okay, so all these are the 4 steps. So the first thing, or the first agriculture process, was preparation of the soil. You have learned what is ploughing, like loosening the soil or overturning the soil, ploughing or tilling. What are the advantages for the ploughing and tilling? What are they? Penetration of the roots, air ventilation, removing unwanted plants, okay? Then decaying, removing the dangerous small organisms, right? Then how it is done? That are the 4 steps. First one is plough, second is hoe, right? Third is cultivator, and the fourth is seed drill. Okay, seed drill is what mostly used in the rural side. Okay, so these are the 4 types. So our first step is clear, agricultural practice. Second is sowing. What is sowing? Okay, now seed. Now you have prepared your soil, right? Now you require seeds. So before sowing the seeds, we must check whether the seed is good or bad. Okay, so sowing is nothing but process of putting the seeds in the soil. Before sowing, we must check the quality, health, and the clean seeds are selected. Okay, why good and clean seeds are selected and seeds free from diseases are selected? Of course, the farmers require what? The farmers require profit, high yield is required, right? So only the good seeds will grow, while bad seeds will not. So for that, we must select the. हेलो, हाँ मैम, मैं लाइव में हूँ. सॉरी मैम, शेयर या पीपीटी शेयर नहीं किया आपने, स्लाइड शेयर नहीं किया. ओ श्योर, ओके मैम, ओके ओके. Okay, so the seeds should be sown at the right depth and the overcrowding of seeds should be avoided. Okay, so as I said, we must select the good seeds, right? So selection of seeds will be done. High yielding variety seeds are used, right? High yielding variety in the sense you must be getting the profit, right? Seed should not be dormant and it must be germinated in the plants. What is meant by germination? Germination is nothing but just the beginning of the growth of the plant. Okay, and the dormant is just opposite. It will take time to grow. So the seeds that you select should be germinated and should not be dormant. Well, seeds should be sown at the right depth. Okay, it should be not be in the upper layer of the soil. It should be in between the second and the third layer of the soil. Okay, there should you dig the, till then you should dig the soil and you can add the, or you can sow the seeds. Then overcrowding of the seeds should be avoided. See, if we're growing mango, mango requires only one seed to grow. Okay, and if you are going to sow like lady's finger, okra, right, you require 2 seeds. While if you are going to cultivate chilies, you require 3 seeds. So for each crop, the number of seeds are different. Okay, so for that, you must be clear that overcrowding of the seeds should be avoided. The number of seeds should be limited depending upon the crop that you are going to cultivate. And the seeds should be free from disease. Okay, so these are the different varieties of seeds used. Okay, and these are the reason which selection of the seed should be clear, that it should be germinated in the plants and it should not be dormant. Okay, now how to check whether the seeds are good in health or bad in health, right? So first you need to take a container. Okay, then you can see a container. In this container, your container should be half filled with water. Okay, and you should add all your grains or all the seeds that you are going to plant. Some seeds will sink in while some seeds will float. Those seeds that sink are heavier and that seeds are good in health. Okay. Then some seeds are lighter in weight that will float. And those seeds, why they float? Because they are hollow. And those seeds are lighter in weight, and that is the reason they are floating, and but they are bad in health. Okay, so those seeds should be avoided, and those seeds should not be used for sowing. Okay, then some of the seeds will float on water, while some of the seeds are heavier, will sink in water. Okay, so good and healthy seeds are heavier, while those are floating are bad in health. So therefore you should not use that lighter or hollow seeds for sowing. Now, what are the methods of sowing seeds? There are different methods of sowing seeds. Okay, the first method is broadcasting. Second is seed drill, and the third is transplantation. So broadcasting is nothing but it's a method of sowing the seeds manually. Okay, that is, you're just scattering the seeds on the soil. Okay, when you're scattering the seeds, what will happen? The equal distribution of seeds will not happen. Overcrowding or the required amount of seeds will not be there, right? And it reduces what? The crop yield. The profit will not be there. Okay, you won't get the growth of your plants. So that is broadcasting. That is just a scattering of your seeds in the soil. Then you are having seed drill. Seed drill is nothing but what we have learned now, right? It will be a combination of both ploughing and sowing. Okay, so ploughing is nothing but it requires, yes, as I've told, it has iron tube, right? It has iron tube, and then you are having a funnel. You're just going to add your seeds while it is ploughing. It's at that time itself. You're going to add that seeds inside that funnel, and via the iron tube, it will be sown inside the soil at the correct depth. Okay, so what are the advantage? It saves time and seeds. Okay, so these are the advantages. Okay, exact number of seeds and exact in the depth the seeds will be transferred. Okay, so that is the second method. And what is the third method? Third method is nothing but transplantation. Right, in this method, seeds are sown first in the nurseries and then transferred to the main field. See, you can see these are the nursery. I've seen my dad doing this. Okay, he used to take the seeds of the chilies and the okra, and he placed in the small, see here it is shown, right? In the small gap, he used to place all those seeds. And when the seed starts to germinate, this condition is called germination. Okay, this condition, when seed starts to germinate, that seeds will start, at that time he transfers that into the main field. Okay, where he has done the digging and all, he has just sow that seeds in the main field. Okay, I have seen it, so I hope you all have. Okay, just try doing farming. It's very interesting thing. You will love doing farming. Okay, so these are the example like pad. Okay, then so I hope you are clear. That's the second step. Second step was sowing the seed. You must know what is the sowing of the seed. Sowing means nothing but process of sowing your seeds inside the soil. That is, you are adding the seeds in the soil. You need a selection of the soil seeds that is healthy and bad, good and bad. You should be clear. How? Take a container, fill with half of water, wait for some time. Okay, what after what we need to wait? Add some, yes, seeds. Wait for some time. You can see the seeds which are sinked in, that are healthy, and which are floating, that are unhealthy. So that you need to remove. Take the healthy one and you need to sow that. Sowing can be done in 3 steps. The first was broadcasting, right? In the broadcasting, just the scattering of the seeds. Second one is what? Yes, second one was your seed drill, which is a combination of both. Okay, and the third one is transplantation. Transplantation is nothing but you are growing first in the nursery and then transferring into the main field. Okay, the third step is manures and fertilizers. Manures and fertilizers, what are they? Yes, I've told you. Manures and fertilizers are nothing but what? Yes, you're adding the food to the seed. You are right, giving the food to your seeds and so that it grows, right? So manures and fertilizers are used to maintain the soil fertility. Okay, so soil fertility, very important in exam point of view, the definition. It is defined as the inherent capacity of the soil to supply plant nutrients in the proper amount and suitable proportion. Okay, so the fertility in case of manures or fertilizer, whatever you add, it should be in the proper amount. More, if you add, what will happen? Your plant may die. Okay, your crops may die and nothing will be left for your growth, for your plants yield, right? So it should be on the correct amount, proper amount. Okay, and over is not required. It require in the proper amount. That's very important. So it is an inherent capacity of the soil. Okay, that is the capacity of the soil to supply the plant nutrients in the proper amount and suitable proportion. Okay. So as I told, it is of two types. One is manure and the second one is what? Fertilizer. Okay. Manure. Manures are the organic substances obtained by decomposition of plants and animal waste. See, I've seen my dad doing that. See, he used to take all the vegetable waste and the skin of vegetables, fruits, and even uh, tea leaves or even the eggshells. He used to take and place, pour it in the soil. Okay, right? He used to do that. That are nothing but the manures. Okay, and they are the organic one. Okay, which are obtained by decomposing of plants and animal waste. Okay, animal waste also you can add. Okay, so like cow dung and all we add, right? So all this comes under manure. Then manures are of different types. What are they? Farmyard. Farmyard is nothing but made up of cow dung and urine. Second is compost. Compost is nothing but decomposition of plants and animals. It will be done by the bacteria or the earthworm present in the soil. That is what I have told you in ploughing, right? Small good organisms are present, which helps to decay the decomposed animals. Okay, and if in that presence of earthworm is there, then that compost we call it as vermicompost. If not earthworm, then we call it as compost. Okay, then you have green manure. Green manure consists of decomposed of leguminous plants. Legumes I have told you is like dal or type. Okay, so leguminous plant like sunhead, if it that consists, it called as green manure. Okay, there are three types of manure: farmyard, compost, and green manure. Okay, they're very important. Then what is the next one? Advantages. What are the advantages of adding those manure? It adds nutrients to the soil and it adds humus to the soil. What is humus? Yes, humus is nothing but the what you get from the organisms. That is, organism has told you decay those uh, deep buried plants and animals, right? So that waste after decomposing it, whatever you get, that is nothing but humus. Okay, and helps to improve the soil quality. Okay, so it adds the nutrients to the soil and it adds the humus to the soil and improves the soil quality. So what is the next thing? Next thing is fertilizer. Fertilizer is nothing but the inorganic compound which supply specific nutrients. Okay, inorganic compound: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and ammonium sulfate. Right. So these are the standard fertilizers that can be added to the crops. Okay, over of them should not be done because as I said, plants may die. Okay, and it may cause dangerous. Okay, so all these are fertilizers: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and ammonium sulfate. Okay, these are inorganic but supply nutrients to the soil. Very important question in exam point of view is differentiate between manure and fertilizer. Manure, it is an organic substance, isn't it? Yes, it is organic because it is having like plants, animals waste, right? Then humus will be there, cow dung, urine, right? And we learned all the three types of compost, right? Farmyard, then vermicompost, right? So all those are organic, right? But fertilizers are inorganic. Inorganic means chemical, right? That is like potassium, nitrogen, phosphorus, ammonium sulfate. Manure, its action is slow. Yes, its action is slow. The process will take place, but it will take time. While in this fertilizers, the action is fast. Then it provides all the essential nutrients to the soil, right? Manures gives all the essential nutrients, while fertilizer, it provides all essential or specific nutrients to the soil. If some of require exact nutrient, then that can be given by the fertilizer. Okay, it can go specific. Manure, it adds humus to the soil. Yes, I told you the decomposed, that organisms that decay, the buried plants and animals, right? That comes under humus and in manure. But in case of fertilizer, it does not add any humus to the soil. Okay. Then manures are biodegradable substance, while fertilizers are non-biodegradable, cannot be decomposed. Okay. So these are the differences between manure and fertilizer. In exam point of view, it is very important. Okay, it's organic substance. It is inorganic. Its action is slow. Its action is fast. It provides all the essential nutrients to the soil. It provides all, or it can go specific. It adds humus. It does not add humus. It is biodegradable and it is non-biodegradable. Okay, so I hope we have done all the points and it is clear to you. Okay, so what are the clear things we have done? We have done, first important thing was crop, right? Then types of crops, right? Kharif, Rabi, right? And examples. Examples should be written. If at all not asked also, you should be ready with your examples. Okay. Then we have done with the, what is agriculture? Very important in exam point of view, definition. Okay. The need of crops. Okay. Then we have done the steps, preparation of soil. Then we have done with what was that? Sowing of the seeds, then manures and fertilizer. Now let me ask you a question. Right. Define crop. Anyone can say what is define crop? Yes. Crop is nothing but that are grown, the same kind of plants. Exactly, that's important point. Same kind of plants that are grown on large scale, right? And you need to give examples why we are growing them, because for profit, right? That is definition of crop. What are the types of crops? There are two types. One is Kharif crops and other is Rabi crops. Kharif crops grown in rainy season, Rabi crops grown in winter season. And you need to give the examples, right? Soya bean, right? Paddy in Kharif, Rabi, you can say wheat, gram, and so on. Now tell me, damaged seeds in sense bad or unhealthy seeds would dash on water. Would they float or sink? What I've told you about the bad seeds, they are hollow, lighter, so it will float. Exactly. Now name any two agricultural implements. Yes, the first one was plow and the second one was hoe, right? Now what are weeds? Right. Weeds are nothing but the unwanted plants. Okay. Unwanted plants that grow. Okay. How they grow? Yes, they take all the nutrients, air, water from the cultivated plants. Okay. So the nutrients grow. So the weeds grow from taking all the nutrients from your cultivated plants. So that are called as weeds, unwanted plants. Okay. Now, what is a traditional tool of sowing? Which one was that? Combination of ploughing and sowing the seeds. Yes, that was seed drill. Exactly. A funnel, iron tube, sharp edge, right? That is the traditional tool of sowing. Now, state any two differences between manures and fertilizers. Very easy. Manures are nothing but organic. Fertilizers are inorganic. Manures action takes longer time, but fertilizers takes less time, right? Action is fast. What are the next difference? Manure is biodegradable. Wow, nice. And the fertilizers are non-biodegradable. Very good, very good. So you know it. You know all the differences. Exactly. And the next definition is define agriculture. What is agriculture? I've told you. Remember one thing, agriculture means not only growing of plants, but also cultivation of soil and nurturing of animals or rearing of animals. Okay? To provide for what? To provide food and other products like wool, paper, whatever you can buy. Okay, so agriculture is growing of plants, cultivation of soil, and nurturing of animals to provide food and other products like wool. Okay, so all these are the 8 questions. Okay, that are important in exam point of view. Okay, so what we have learned today, we have learned about crops. Okay, definition about crops. You should be clear about the examples also. Different types of crops, kharif crops, rabi crops. Okay, kharif, rainy season, June to September, right? Then you need to know about the rabi crops also that are grown in the winter season. And you'll be clear about the example. Okay, need of crops. What is the need? Remember, need of crops? Anyone? Yes. Need of the crop is for what? You require food, right? You require food and then you require for other products also. So that is what the need of the crop is. Then agriculture. Define agriculture. What was a definition of agriculture? Yes, agriculture. See, I'm repeating so that it comes inside your head. Okay. So what is agriculture? Agriculture is nothing but growing of crops, cultivation of soil, and nurturing of animals to provide food and other products. Okay. What's the process of preparation of the soil? Yes, process of preparation of the soil is called as ploughing, right? Okay, and what is ploughing? Ploughing is nothing but loosening the soil or overturning the soil. Okay, ploughing, and also you can say it as tilling. Okay, then what are the different kinds of tools used for agriculture? Different kinds of tools used for agriculture like plough. Okay, the large wooden shaft is there and there's a wooden frame, and that wooden frame you'll be having 2 to 3 blades. Okay, and it will be tied back to that of the ox, and the farmer starts making the ox move. While moving, the plows dig inside that of your soil. Okay, and it will make the furrows in the soil. Okay, that is the first. Second was hoe. Hoe is used to dig the soil and also it is used to remove unwanted weeds. Okay, then loosening the soil also. Fine. Then what is the next thing? Seed drill. Yes, I think seed drill is very much clear now. It is a combination for both the steps, plowing and sowing. There's a funnel, okay, and there's an iron tube below that funnel. You can add the seeds on that funnel through that iron tube. It will be sown inside that of the soil at the right depth. Okay, then you're having what? Cultivator, right? Cultivator is what? This plow is connected to the tractor. Okay, so that are the different tools. Now describe the process of selection of seeds. I've already told you, you have to take the container, fill half of it with water, take some seeds, put inside that container, wait for some time. Few seeds will sink, they are heavier, good in health. Few seeds will float, they are lighter and they are what? Yes, lighter and they are unhealthy. Okay, that's the process of selection of seeds. What are the methods of sowing seeds? The first one is, yes, broadcasting. That is nothing but just scattering the seeds in the soil. Very nice. Remember it. Second thing is what? Second thing is, remember? Seed drill. Exactly. Right. And the third one is transplantation. Transplantation is what? Transplantation is nothing but you're going to sow the seeds in the nurseries and then transfer it to the main yield after the germination of seeds. Germination is in just beginning of the growth of the seeds. And finally, we learned about manures and fertilizers. Manures and fertilizers, what are the difference between them? Okay. I hope today the first class is clear with you all, and we'll come back soon. Thank you so much.